So glad to be here this morning because I have something exciting to talk to you about. I'm Donna Johnson. I am a literacy coach and French club sponsor at Thomas Jefferson Middle School here in Jefferson City. And I'll let my panel introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Hannah, and I'm 14 years old.
I'm Sean Burton, and I'm 13 years old.
Hi, I'm Precious Jackson, and I'm 13 years old. We're all students from Thomas Jefferson Middle School here in Jefferson City, Missouri.
Let me get started, with that. And each time I tell you to click the heat. Okay. My assistant. We want to talk to you about our French connection. In 2009, I'll give you a brief background, the state of Missouri signed a memorandum of understanding between the state and the Academy of Lyon in Lyon, France. I was privileged enough to get to follow my husband to Lyon to visit some schools at that time. And there are a number of schools in the Academy of Lyon. We hooked up with one of the middle schools. And if you will click, that shows our school. Click one more time. And that's the middle school that we hooked up with. It is the André Lison College in the Academy of Lyon in Lyon, France. With this partnership, and if you'll go ahead, there was 3 colleagues that I met with, and Vincent's the one with the blue sweater on. He is my colleague that we talk to almost daily. We email each other, we blog, we Skype from home, trying to make plans of what to do with our students. And as you can tell, I don't know if you can tell, you will be able to tell, we get pretty excited when we start talking about our French connection. There are a number of things to do before you can ever start Skyping, and we're going to Skype in just a few minutes. I'm kind of watching my time because there's a certain time that we're connecting. There are a number of things that you need to do really before you Skype, and one of them is to start a relationship with your students, because opening up and Skyping and never have met the student you're Skyping with tends to be a little frightening, and there's a lot of blank air time with them staring at each other and starting to talk but not understanding. So if they've had a lot of conversations through email first, works out perfectly. If you want to, Sean, show them as I tell them, this is one of the emails. We went through ePals. ePals is a free site that you can monitor. And if you'll look real quickly, scrolling down the side, there are a number of schools listed that want partners. And if you go through ePals, you can pick a group of partners that would be with a many number of countries that your classroom can correspond with. I mean, you can correspond through ePals. It is safe, it is monitored. Every email that a student sends comes through me. Every email that a student receives comes through me. So I get to read all the emails before they do. It's kind of exciting in that way too, to see what they're talking about. And they really find out that they have a lot in common, and I think they'll tell you that too. Okay, you can go on to the next slide. Just wanted them to see what it looked like. Just go here. Also, we set up blogs. And our blogs, if you go to the French Touch blog, our blogs that we set up together. The students in France put together a blog, and you can click on some of the links, the sites that we've put together. We showed about our own places that we live. They had pictures of Lyon. We put in pictures of Jefferson City. They put in foods that they like. We put in foods that we like. Anything that they would put on the blogs, we would match so that they would get to know each other and get to know about each other's cultures, because we feel that that was probably the most important thing that we wanted to gain from our partnership, was to learn about each other's cultures. Remember, all of the things that we're doing so far is free. It only takes a little time and someone that would be willing to sponsor or get it going. Okay, do you want to go on to the next blog? Oh, let's save that blog. Go on to the next slide. The next thing we did was start Skyping, and that's what we're going to try to do right now. So, grab my glasses. Get video call. We're going to Skype with a class. They are going to have 3 students that they're going to talk to today, and they have some questions that they're going to ask each other. Our group is going to ask. Is that ringing in? He's in class right now. The only way we're able to do this is they have long class days. Their last class is at 5 o'clock, so they're able to do this. Oh, go ahead. Good morning, or good afternoon.
Hi, Donna.
Yes, Vincent.
Can you hear us?
We can hear you fine. Are you able to hear? Okay, we're able to hear you fine. Can you hear us?
You hear?
Yes.
Yeah. Don't fix me.
Okay, because this isn't their normal partners, we're going to have them to introduce themselves really quickly, and then they have a few questions and show you how a Skype session usually goes at our school. So go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Hannah.
Talking to the
I'm
mic.
Sean Burton. I'm 13.
Hi, I'm Precious Jackson and I'm 13. And we are all students from Thomas Jefferson Middle School here in Jefferson City, Missouri.
Now, ask them.
Can you please introduce yourselves?
I'm Quentin, I'm 14.
Hi, I'm Ed. I'm 14 too.
Hi, I'm Evelyn. I'm 14 too.
Okay. We have some questions for you. What is the weather like today?
Today it's overcast. It's not a lovely day. It's a bit rainy.
How do you celebrate Christmas? Do you have any customs that you do each year during Christmas?
We do celebrate Christmas with our family, and we do get presents. We do not have that much customs.
I would like to ask questions about your school. What time does your school start in the morning? What time does it end in the afternoon?
It's not every day the same. For example, tomorrow I begin at 9 o'clock and it ends at 5 o'clock p.m.
How long do you have for your lunch break, and are you allowed to leave school for lunch?
We have 1 hour and a half for a lunch break, and yes, we are allowed to leave school for lunch.
Do you have a school cafeteria? What types of foods are served at your school?
Yeah, we do have a cafeteria. Yeah, it's self, and there is many different foods. We can choose. You can choose whatever you want.
How do you travel to school?
We do travel on bus and the car.
If you are absent a day of school, what happens?
My mom will close the school and I do an accident when I come back.
Ask her to repeat that, because, could you hear? Okay,
Can you repeat that?
My mom must close the school and when I come back, I must do an accident.
Mom calls the school. Okay.
If your teacher is absent from school, what do you do?
If a teacher is absent, we can go to a study hall where we can work, or we can go out if it's the first hour or the last hour of school.
Can you have cell phones at school? What would happen if you did have your cell phone out during class?
No, we put we must switch off our cell phones. And teachers can take them, and parents must protocol OT.
What classes do you have this year?
This year I have PE, physics, mathematics, biology,
Biology.
French, English.
Do you have any clubs or sports teams at your school?
Yeah, we do have many clubs. We have theater, music. There is a sports club too, like football, handball. Yeah, there is many kind of.
Okay, do you have anything else? Okay, let's tell them it's nice talking to them today.
It's been nice talking to you. Bye. See you later.
Bye.
The teacher's going to get online, and we'll talk to him for just a second. Thank you. Usually when we talk about 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes per group of students. When we first started, we did, all of us, because it was so new, we did just like this. We had projected up on a screen, and the kids would sit out in the audience. They would come one-on-one to talk, and everybody could see on the screen. Well, that was the first couple of times we had a Skyping session, so they could kind of get the idea of what was going on. So now what we do is usually about 3 students at a time. We'll bring them into an area, and they'll get to talk with each other. And then the next 3 students come in, and that's the way we've been doing it. So this is Vincent. Good afternoon, Vincent.
Good afternoon, everyone.
I wanted to just ask you a couple of questions. First of all, with our partnership, and I haven't explained everything we've gotten to do yet in our partnership, but with our partnership, what benefits do you feel like that you've gained as far as your teaching or your students? What benefits have you gained from our partnership?
Well, a lot, Donna. First of all, I will talk about the spirit of citizenship. I never forget that my kids will be citizens, and I want them to be good people in the future. And when they first came to Missouri last year, they discovered another culture, and then they questioned their own culture. When you question your own culture, you get to love it a little bit more, and then you understand it. And you understand the culture of your partner as well. And I think that was a good experience on that. On this matter. The cultural background of my students also enlarged because, we know about the United States from TV, New York, Los Angeles, but they met real people in Missouri. And from what I heard, my students, well, yeah, that was going beyond our sides, and they found that people were honest and welcoming, and for 14-year-old students, that was very important. Then they learned, and we studied a lot about the history of Missouri before we came. This was very interesting as well, because the history of Missouri is a very important part of the American history, and this is something we must teach to our kids. And then we had the best opportunity to do this. Yeah.
Okay, well, we had a lot of projects that we worked on together. We did blogs, we put together DVDs and sent to each other, we've emailed back and forth, and then our exchange. What things have we done in the past that you think that was beneficial to each of our students that we should keep doing in the future?
Yeah. Shadowing is the first thing that that's coming to my mind. My students loved attending their pen pals classes and the lessons and compare the systems. So this is something we should repeat. Filmmaking that was very inspiring and motivating because the students wanted to show themselves at their best. So they improved a lot. And I think this is something we should repeat as well. You were talking about the blog. The parents loved it even better than the students because they could follow their sons and daughters' activities from far away. And this is something we really enjoyed, and I think it was a good way to involve the parents in the project as well. And I would finish with offering common educational activities. Because, for example, I remember when we were in your school, Donna, we improvised French lessons. And in fact, this is something the students really liked because it developed a sense of friendship and cooperation at the same time. I think this is something that really benefited. They really enjoyed it. Yeah.
I totally agree with that also. We really enjoyed being able to visit the classrooms in France, and it was awesome. Of all the things that we've done and the things that you saw when you were in Missouri, did you take back anything and do anything differently in your classroom or start anything in your school differently because of something that you saw at our school?
Absolutely. Yeah, there are so many differences, yes, and this trip influenced me a lot, yes. In your school, I realized that teaching, being a teacher, was not only teaching academics. Like teachers who were involved in many different things like advising the students, running clubs, managing teams. And I went back to my school with a lot of ideas. And now we are setting up, well, I would find it very difficult to translate it into English, but it is something that did not exist before, a way to look after kids who are in need at school, who are very much behind the rest of the others, in small groups, and it's something integrated in the school, and I learned from your school that
It would be the tutoring.
there's something we could do about it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Vincent.
With a lot of ideas.
Thank you. Thank you for your time, and thank you for your students Skyping with us this morning.
Yeah, well, that was a real pleasure, Donna, and I'm looking forward to talking to you again.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
All right, goodbye.
Goodbye. We did have a virtual exchange, and we had a virtual exchange for 2 years. And after those 2 years, we were able to do a face-on-face exchange. Last year, in April, Vincent brought his English class of 30 students, along with 3 teachers, and they stayed in Jefferson City for 2 weeks. Because of the memorandum of understanding that I talked about, the Academy of Lyon, they are able to write a grant to their government, and if they have a partnership with a school in Missouri, they can come. So they have their trip paid for. They can come to Missouri. They stayed 2 weeks. Once they got here, this is the kicker though, once they get here, your district or your, as far as us, our French club, paid for everything that they did while they were here. We hosted the students. We had fundraisers throughout the year and made enough money that we were able to take the students on tours. We, of course, all the free stuff that you can do, we made sure that we did, but the transportation is the cost, the big cost. But we did host the students for 2 weeks. Felt like that was such a great opportunity. I'll let my students tell you what they thought about it and what they gained from it. Get close to.
It was really fun. We got to learn a lot about each other and do stuff together.
I just liked hanging out with everyone. They had a lot of kids, so I had 2 kids that stayed with me, and I got to know them very well.
I liked making new friends and learning the new language. I liked when they taught us how to do it. We got in small groups and did that.
And as Vincent said, they get to shadow the kids at school also. We spent a few days where the students were shadowing our students so they could see what our day was like. And I think they had a rude awakening of the big differences in our schools. But also, I think you all learned something from this visit. And what did you learn? Get close.
We learned a lot about the culture and history of Lyon and everything.
That they're not that different from us. Their culture is different from us, but just them as kids, they do the same things we do, play sports, hang out, kind of dress the same too.
And we learned that French people aren't just painters with berets on and stuff.
Good. Well, because of the exchange of the students coming here last year, we were able to take students to Lyon also. And we took 10 students. 2 of these students got to go also. 10 students went to Lyon, and we have, if you bear with me, it's 1 minute of a quick video that the students, that we put together so you could see the highlights of their trip to Missouri and then our trip to Lyon. You can have a club, but you have to have that person who is willing to put in the time. It does take a lot of time. I love it, but it does take a lot of time to collaborate with the other teacher from the other school and make sure that your projects that you're working on are worthwhile for your students, because that is the goal, is making sure that the students come away with learning about another culture. And so my statement to you is, go out and do it. Anyone can do it, and it's such benefit for your students. Thank you.